In this tutorial video, we're going to show you how to use the drill bank toolpath. The drill bank toolpath can be accessed from the advanced machining module, a module that you can purchase to bolt onto your existing versions of the Cut2D Pro, vcarve Pro or Aspire software. A drill bank is a pneumatically operated array of drills that can plunge multiple holes at once, all set to a common pitch. The drill bank toolpath is similar to the standard drilling strategy, but designed specifically for drill banks. In the software, we do only currently support drill banks with one horizontal row and one vertical row, like a L-shaped or T-shaped drill bank. In this tutorial video, I will be using this example file of a cabinet when creating the toolpaths for the drill bank. So first we're going to go into the drill bank toolpath here. At the top of the toolpath, you can see here we have the start depth and cut depth for the toolpath, and next we can select the tool. I will come back to this later when we go through how to set up a drill bank tool in the video. The next option here you see is the use PEC drilling, which is the same setting that is in the standard drilling toolpath. PEC drilling allows the tool to retract after each pass to help move material and to cool the tool down. This means that the tool will cut to the pass depth set for the tool, and then it will retract to the retract gap that you set here. If you would like more information on the PEC drilling settings and how to set this up, I would recommend watching the how to use a drilling toolpath tutorial video. You can also see that we have the dwell at the bottom of each drill pass option as well here. This option will allow you to pause the toolpath at the bottom of each PEC drill pass before retracting to make sure a complete revolution of the tool has happened at the bottom of the toolpath. This can be added to help you get an accurate cut and have less wear on the tool you are using. Please note that you will only be able to use this option if you have a post-processor that supports dwell moves. For the example toolpath in this tutorial video, I will not be using either of these options. So I'm just going to unselect the PEC drilling, and the dwell at the bottom of each drill path is already not selected. So now I want to go back to the tool selection here, and we're going to look at adding a drill bank to the tool database. So I'm going to click select here. Now, as we can see, I do not currently have a drill bank that I can select for this toolpath. So I'm going to go to the add a tool option here, and you can see here that we now have the option to add a drill bank as a tool type. So the next options we have are the units for the drill bank we're about to enter. For this, we are going to use inches. And then the next option is the default diameter. Now for the drill bank I'm about to add, this will contain all the same size of drill tools, which will be 0.2 inches. So I'm going to enter this as the default diameter. Now I'm going to select the configure option here, which will bring up this window here where we can make more alterations to match the drill bank we are using. For the drill bank I am going to be using, this will be an L-shaped drill bank with 4 horizontal drills and 5 vertical drills. Now say you had more of a T-shaped drill bank and you needed to move the vertical drills over, you can use the central drill option here. So say we wanted to move the vertical drills over by 3 places, we can increase the number here, and as you can see, this moves the position of the vertical drills. The same for this option here. If we increase the number here, you can see that the horizontal drills move position. But for the example we are using, we want to go back and set the option to 1 for the X and Y axis of our drill bank. Next, we're going to look at the pitch option here. The pitch is the distance between the center of each of the drills in the drill bank. So for our example here, the pitch will be 1.25 inches. So in the next option, we have a diagram showing the current layout of the drill bank geometry that we have entered. So here you have the ability to select each drill in the drill bank separately. When you select each drill in the drill bank, you have these options below to edit, which is the diameter. So you can set the drills to different diameters, which I will show you later in the tutorial video. You can also see here we have the option to select this as our reference drill. You can see that the one we currently have selected is our reference drill. The reference drill is the drill that the software and machine will use to position the toolpath. So you will need to make sure that this matches with the configuration of your drill bank on your machine. And then the next option here is the drill number, which you will need to enter the correct drill number for each drill that it is in your drill bank and enter it here. So if we go back to this drill here, as this drill is on the X and Y axis, you can use the independent X and Y number option here as well when setting the drill number, so you can set a separate drill number on the X and Y axis. If you are unsure what the drill number is for each of the drills in your drill bank, you will need to contact your machine supplier and they will be able to let you know the drill number for each position in the drill bank you have. So I'm quite happy with how this is currently set up, so I'm going to click OK here, and then the next option we have is the create settings option, which will be the pass depth of the tool, which for this I'm just going to use 0.1, and then the spindle speed, the feed units, and the plunge rate for the tool. So I'm going to click apply here to add this tool, and I'm now going to select this drill bank for the toolpath we are now going to create. So now you can see now we have selected this drill bank. There is also a diagram of the drill bank we have added and selected here, and it lets us know the dimensions, so that it's 4 drills along the x-axis and 5 drills along the y-axis, which drill is the reference drill, and also the pitch that we have entered. Now you can see underneath we have a pitch tolerance and diameter tolerance here. So for the drill bank toolpath, the circle vectors you select will need to be the exact same size as the drill that is in your drill bank, and will also need to have the correct pitch between each circle vector as you have in your drill bank as well. The pitch tolerance and diameter tolerance allows these values to be slightly out by a minimal amount. This can be helpful if you are seeing any rounding errors, if you have, for example, imported a file that was originally created in millimeters and have converted it into inches in the software and are using inch tools. So in this example, we're going to use 0.01 inches for both of these. Now, as we can see with this file, there are a lot of circle vectors that we will want to select. Now I could go and select these all individually, but instead I'm going to use the vector selection option here in the form. So if we click the selector here, we can now use this to select all the circle vectors we want to use for this toolpath. So we're going to use the closed vector option here and the only circles, and we want it to select any circles matching the diameter of the drill tools in the drill bank, which is 0.2 inches. And for now I'm just going to select all visible layers and also select the associate with toolpath option here and close. And you can see here now that it has selected all of the circle vectors that are 0.2 inches. And now we're going to click calculate for this toolpath. So first we're going to look at the toolpath in the 3D view. So I'm just going to close out of the preview toolpath for a moment and zoom into this section of the toolpath. Now you can see here that there is a rectangle around these 5 drill toolpath, and this is because all 5 of these drill toolpaths will be cut at once using the drill bank. And we can see here this top drill toolpath here is using the reference drill that we set. As we can see the plunge line in the toolpath here. Now if we go over to the 2D view, we can see a similar setup here where we have a rectangle around these 5 drill tool paths, and we can see that the top drill toolpath, which we know is using the reference drill from the 3D view, is also a slightly different color, showing that this is the reference drill on the drill bank and is going to be used to position the toolpath. So now if we go back into the 3D view, zoom out so we can see the entire project, go back into the preview toolpaths option, and I'm going to zoom in slightly a bit more to the drawing, and we're going to run a toolpath preview, but I'm going to want to animate the preview and draw the tool. I'm going to increase the speed slightly so we can see how the drill bank is represented in a toolpath preview. So I'm going to preview the visible toolpaths, and you can see here that the whole setup of the drill bank is shown, and it shows which drills will be used in the drill bank setup to cut each of the drill holes out. So I can, if I just speed the toolpath preview up so we can watch and see how it cuts. And we can see a preview of how the drill bank toolpath cuts in the 3D view. Next, I want to have a look at using different size drill tools in a drill bank. So I'm going to close out the preview toolpath and go back into the toolpath we created. And now I'm going to go back into the tool database. So I'm going to create a copy of the drill bank we just created. So in this copy, I'm going to go back into the configure option. And now this time, I want to change these 2 drill tools here so they are a slightly different diameter to the other drills in the drill bank. So to do this, we're going to select the drill here, go into the diameter option here, and I want the diameter of this drill tool to be 0.5 instead. I also want the drill tool underneath this to be 0.5 as well, so I'm going to edit this one as well. As you can see, this has changed the diagram slightly above it, and we can see now that these 2 drill tools are bigger than the other drill tools in the drill bank. So now I'm going to click OK on here. Again, create the settings for this drill bank. I'm also going to go in here and just change the name slightly. I'm just going to manually enter in the tools that are being used for this drill bank, and I don't want to set it as a default, so I'm going to unselect this and click OK and click apply, and now select this drill bank. So now that we've added these 2 different sized drills to our drill bank, we can also cut these circle vectors out as well. So again, I'm going to keep the settings as they are, but I'm going to go back into the vector selection and edit this slightly. So now I just want to select all circles, and instead I'm going to select specific layers that I want to cut. So I'm going to select any of the layers that contain any of the hinge holes or shelf holes that we want to cut. There is also another option I could choose here as well, which is the select circles matching tool diameter, as this will select any of the circle vectors in the file that will match the drill diameters in the drill bank. But I'm going to use this option for now, and I'm going to click close here, and you can see now that these circle vectors have been selected as well. And I'm going to click calculate here. So I'm going to close out of the toolpath preview, and we're just going to have a look at the 3D view. So now if we zoom into this section here to see how the toolpath is shown in the 3D view. Again, this is very similar to what we saw previously, with a rectangle around where the drill bank is going to cut, with the plunge line showing where the reference drill tool will be positioned. But if we go to this section up here now, we can see something slightly different. So we can see the rectangle again. We can see where the plunge movement is, so we know this is where the reference drill would be, but it's not currently using the reference drill to cut it, so we don't see a drill toolpath here as well. So now if we go to the 2D view to see how this looks in the 2D view, we go up here. So in the 2D view, it does show something slightly different. So we have only got the rectangle now around the drill tools that are being used in the drill bank, but we can still see the reference drill up here, but we can only see it now in blue as it's only been used as a reference and not been used in the cut. So now if we go back to the 3D view and go into the preview toolpath, as you can see here, it's still referencing the whole of the drill bank setup, but is only showing the tools that are cutting in the 3D preview. So the last step now is to save the drill bank toolpath to run on our machine. Please note you would need to use a post-processor that is compatible with drill banks to be able to save drill bank toolpaths in the software. I hope you have found this tutorial video helpful going through the drill bank toolpath in the software.